Hey everybody, how's it going? I just want to go ahead and I don't know, I've been giving this a lot of thought, and I felt that it really needed to be said. But I sincerely believe that owning a dog is new age slavery, and what I mean is that it is very similar to slavery of the young America. Because if you go ahead and you really think about it, anything that the dog has had to do has been work related. Everything. For the most part, it's work related. Either it be a guard dog, whether it be a herder, all these different kinds of things that we say that they like it. Okay? I mean, I'm just saying. There have been another group of people, or another group of things that we treat that way, or used to treat that way. And frankly, I think it's just disgusting. I mean, all these people, too, they want these dogs. And to me, it's not only is it that they're, for the most part, they're treated like tools. A lot of the times, they didn't ask to do any of that stuff. I mean, come on. They're there to do work. They're looked at as tools. And on top of that, a lot of people that supposedly enjoy animals, or enjoy dogs specifically, are not the kind of people I would want owning an animal, really, of any kind. Especially with the way that dogs are, where it's very much a you don't really need to earn a dog's love. For most people, you don't need to earn it. They just give it to you. They give their love freely. And it's not like other animals where you have to earn it. So you have a bunch of these people who have these dogs that have never actually had to earn love of another thing, or in this case, another animal, or living thing. And frankly, I don't like them. I don't like most people that enjoy dogs like that. It's gross. And it's way too close, like I said earlier, to slavery. And what's messed up too, especially with things like puppy mills that have been a thing. I didn't even know that was a thing. I thought that was mostly just for breeding purebreds and stuff like that, but now that I even say it now, I mean, even the whole notion of breeding these animals is also fairly barbaric, especially when you are only looking for certain breeds or desirable traits. I mean, it's disgusting. I mean, you're removing the autonomy of the dog, which is inhumane, to be honest. And it oftentimes makes me wonder, what else are these people willing to overlook because they want their perfect dog? And it's, in a way, it's very eugenics type of thinking. I mean, I just don't know what else to call it. I mean, it's very eugenic. I don't know why people aren't just okay with that if they're willing to treat dogs this way, which is awful. Because it all starts with how we treat animals. At least that's how I think it goes. If you treat animals like livestock, or you treat them a certain way, especially ones that were meant to have as pets, or the notion that we're supposed to have some level of kinship with these animals, if they're willing to treat them in that way, I just don't see how they can have a conscience about anything, about the most heinous things that have ever happened in history. Because if anything, it goes to show that it works, which is frankly appalling, at least in my sensibility of things. Because if you could remove traits that you don't like out of dogs, but yet you don't think that's the same thing with a person, you're absolutely bonkers. Because it just goes to show that it's true. And I think that's disturbing. That they're okay with treating animals, and just because they don't look like people, animals that way. Absolutely disgusting. And the way that they go about it, in the terms of well, human life is precious and all that kinds of crap, but then in turn do the same thing to an animal, specifically a dog. Because at least with a dog, in my view, it's still gross, still nasty, disgusting. And I don't know how these people can go living with themselves, carrying this paradoxical thinking about life in that way. To me, all life is precious. All of them, in all their ways. Even as much as I know people don't like them, even the bugs, life is precious. Now granted, it's a bug, so I just don't care for it too much. I'm not a fan of the bugs. But at least I'll give a dog, a level of dignity by letting it just exist. And it's in its entirety, where it's just going around, eating its own poop, just being a general nuisance. You should just let them be. I mean, unless you have a clear-cut purpose, at least with the people who have a clear-cut purpose for them, I mean, those people they're something else, and I would prefer that they be the ones who have a dog. But overall, even then, even with people who have a purpose for the dog, it's still rather disgusting, because they didn't choose it. They didn't choose to live that life.
And for people who would think that, a dog doesn't really have any thoughts about that, when I've seen videos that describe, or not even describe, but show that these dogs have real emotion to the things that they do. I mean, they can, those little button pad things that, hey, I want food, all that kinds of stuff. It shows that they can be autonomous, that they can have a level of intelligence that, at least to be, shows that they're in a way, they're not really an animal. That they also still have some semblance of thinking. Like there's something going on in there, and I just don't think it's right to hold an animal captive like that, especially when they can understand how to use those buttons and they know what each of them mean. It's just interesting, to say the least.